Purdue basketball back in action for their second game of the season, second game in 3 days. Quick turnaround here on Friday night in Mackey Arena against Greg Campy and the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. We have covered two Purdue games in this young season. We have covered the same amount of Oakland games this young season. Oakland opened the season with a loss to Michigan in Ann Arbor, where my team got an up close and personal look at what I think is a very gimmicky, disgustingly bad defense. The Wolverines hung 121 points on Greg Campy's Oakland Golden Grizzlies and set a record for most points in the first half in Michigan basketball history. It was all around ugly for Oakland. Oakland does have some offensive talent to be weary of. But I would think this, Cart. Michigan looked good. They're not supposed to be as good as Purdue, the number one offense in the country on paper. If Michigan had their way to the tune of 121 points against Oakland, what exactly do you think is reasonable for the Purdue offense in this game?
Where's this game being played?
Mackey Arena.
Hmm. I wouldn't be surprised to see this get into like the 140s. Kind of jokingly, but also not jokingly, just because I think that,
Total or from Purdue?
huh?
Total or from Purdue?
From Purdue, because it's in Mackey, and I think that Oakland's defense isn't going to be able to do much. And what are you going to do? Play a zone against a team that shoots 40% from three? That should be really fun. Don't know how that's going to work out. But no, I think that Purdue's offense in this game I think should be able to get whatever they want at home in Mackey too. I think shots are going to fall. Guys should get a lot of good looks, and I expect those guys to knock down good looks, given who's on this team. So, um, I do think you did see a little bit of offensive firepower from Oakland in that last game. They were able to get some things going a little bit. Also, Warren Marshall was out. It looked like he was in a boot on the bench for that game. Not sure if he'll be back for Friday, but he is a good player for Oakland. But I don't know. I expect Purdue to be one of the top offenses in the country, and I feel like the top offenses in the country should be able to have their way with this Oakland team.
Yeah, so look, I think this is going to be a blowout. I think Purdue's going to get whatever they want offensively. We obviously need to know if TKR is back healthy or not, and if he's going to play, even if he is. I would say this, though, and this is not me doing like my team versus Purdue's team thing. I think Michigan's performance against Oakland was pretty special and pretty like random, to be honest. Like Michigan just made like 60% of their threes. They had like what, six turnovers or something crazy. Like and they play fast as hell, right?
Mm.
So for Michigan to score 121, it was basically a flawless performance while playing the 37th fastest tempo in the country right now. Purdue played a 62 possession game against Evansville. They
Mm.
played slow. So
Right.
I think even if Purdue scored the same amount of points per possession, they might not hit 100 in this game unless they like decide to randomly play a lot faster. Ken Pom projects Purdue to score 91 in this game.
Hmm.
If they make all their shots, I think that's realistic. I think 100 is realistic, but I guess I would just caution like don't do the comparative thing. I get
Mm.
we're going to do that for content. Purdue doesn't need to come out and score 120 because Michigan did. There was something about that game that was very unique that's probably not going to happen again that Michigan brought to the table. If Purdue scores in the 80s, I think it could still be a very good performance against this Oakland defense.
Yeah, and you got to think too. The status of TKR up in the air. They did play a little bit differently with Venter at the four than with TKR at the four. Because don't get it twisted, if TKR is in this game, he can score 30.
Yeah, right. Absolutely very true. So let's talk the scout on Oakland. If you are unfamiliar, Oakland is a school in Michigan in the Horizon League. It's one of I think it's fair to say one of the better mid-major programs in the country. Do you think that's a fair way to broadly scout them?
Yeah, I think so. Just because I think there's a level of not fearing going to play certain places or doing things against. And I said things about Greg Campy as a coach with Oakland, but let's not get it twisted. He's been coaching 2 times longer than I've been alive, I feel like. So like he's an experienced coach. He's a coach that is not afraid to play anybody. and he's a coach that's won a lot of basketball games. So it's a real thing.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. So I think whenever you have a mid-major program like Oakland, right? A Horizon League team or pick any other league that's in a similar ilk. Most coaches at those schools are at their schools hoping that they do well enough that they get an invite to a bigger league.
Hmm.
Greg Campy is not, and that twists how you view him is up for debate. Greg Campy has been at Oakland since 2003. He's a lifer. He is like the Tom Izzo of Oakland basketball. And along the way, he's made the tournament multiple times. He's won the championship of the conference, the Summit League, and the Horizon League multiple times. They had the win that pushed John Calipari out of Kentucky. Like, it's very unique, both in a play style perspective, but also just the fact that they have a guy that's been there this long that isn't ever looking to leave. You kind of know what you expect to get from Oakland. And what you expect to get, at least what I expect to get, is a good program. Like they're 205th on Ken Palm right now. They were 195th coming into the season before the Michigan blowout. Believe it or not, they out of all the Big Ten teams that played on opening night, Oakland was the best rated opponent. Now Michigan made them look like the worst team in the country, but they are analytically stronger than any other team that played a Big Ten opponent on opening night. So I guess I would caution again, don't think because of whatever happened on Monday that this is like the worst team on the schedule. It's not. Oakland is better than Evansville. Oakland may put up a legitimate fight. In recent years, Oakland has played Big Ten opponents close. Last year, they lost by 12 to Illinois. The year before, they lost by 6 to Ohio State, 11 to Illinois. Like, this is a team that even when they're not very good, can kind of pop up out of nowhere and hang in a game because it's a unique style of play. It's a zone that no one else in the country plays. And Purdue is not the team I would want to run it against, but weird shit happens when you force teams to make weird jumpers they're not used to.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely fair to say, and there's despite the team and how they play too, I think to your point, it's a team that's done it. It's a team that has knocked off better teams, knocked off good teams, and a coach that's coached for a long time, and a coach that I think believes that his team could beat anybody. And it could be wrong, it could be right, but he's done it before. So yeah, I think it's not your average for lack of a better term, cupcake. It's not
Right.
it's just not.
Right. 100%. So, talk personnel. For Purdue fans that don't know anything about this Oakland team, who they got, what should you be worried about?
So they got the Horizon preseason player of the year. I'm not going to do myself the disservice of trying to pronounce his name because I think I'll put myself in a bad spot. But he's like a 6'8" tweener, rebounds really well, can score really well inside. A little bit like I don't know, like a Devin Royal-esque type player, I would say, just being like that tweener, can do a little bit in like the mid-post range and working out in that area. Anybody that's a preseason player of the year in their league is one you got to pay attention to. Brody Robinson is a really fun point guard that can pass extremely well. He's a fun prospect that, or not a prospect, a fun transfer that they got this season. I've mentioned it on the preview for the Michigan one. Warren Marshall, I really like him. He's like a small forward, shooting guard type. He did not play in the last game. He was on the bench in a boot. Don't know what his status is, but I think those are the main guys that I think you'll be on the lookout for. I know that Isaac Garrett had himself a pretty good showing in that first game, number 32 on Oakland, but I didn't see much from him in the other games.
Isaac Garrett led him in scoring. Tubu, as I call him, Tubaru Navalarua is the preseason Horizon League player of the year. He is a 6'8", 240-pound center. That's what I would call him. Now he's really power forward, but to me, he kind of operates as Oakland's just big from time to time. And he's tough. Last year, they had some more like Oakland staple type guys that had been around a couple years, and he was still the go-to guy. He was kind of the biggest threat, the top of the scouting report. He is a veteran at this point, a senior that has had some huge games. Against Michigan, he had 18 and 5. Took him 16 shots to get there, but he did hit three threes. He's good. He can play at the high major level. You said 6'8" tweener
Yeah.
that kind of moonlights as a 5, but is really a 4 because he's smaller, but he's that sound like anybody?
Who does that sound like?
Doesn't Purdue got one of those? A 6'8"
Ah,
tweener?
Mr. Chekhov and Ren.
With a bad hip that might not play in this game. I don't know. If he does play, this would be Tubu and TKR, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How do you foresee that going?
I see. I don't think he's gonna be able to check TKR.
I see Tubu in
Um,
hell.
yeah, that's a tough. That's tough.
Yeah, I see Tubu in hell. Do you see TKR in hell on the other end? Now they Purdue might flip it. Purdue might just put the 5 on Tubu, and I think both Clough and Jacobson would frustrate the hell out of him.
Yeah, I think the length would frustrate him a little bit.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like TKR's winning that matchup. But I get what you're saying. I think Tubu does provide a little bit of a mismatch, like kind of. It's a different type of four to check.
yeah, it's a unique game. Just much like playing Oakland schematically, it's a unique player within a unique system that poses like an interesting scout. You better pay attention to what he does coming into the game. People that have watched Oakland for years would remember Jack Golke and Max Hooper before him. Offensively, Greg Campy likes to have one quote unquote designated shooter that is just a shooter. He's plucked guys from Division 3, from JUCO, from community colleges. He's plucked guys from the portal, but basically, I want you to shoot 16 threes a game. That's your role. Run off hella screens, catch, shoot, fade away, off balance, whatever. He's found some prolific ones. To my eye, in game one against Michigan, they didn't have that guy this year. In fact, Tubu led them in 3-point attempts. That's not that guy. Now,
Mhm.
they had 6 different players make a three, 2 different players make three threes, including Brody Robinson. So I think this team has shooting. Against Michigan in the blowout, they shot 42% from three, 11 for
Mhm.
26 from three. They shot 87% from the line, only missed 2 free throws. So I do think this team in general can shoot and shoot the lights out, but I don't think they have the quote unquote Jack Golke role that they usually do. Am I missing somebody on that to your knowledge or no?
N- To my knowledge, no, but I could be wrong. But I don't think there's that designated it's time to gun guy.
Which is different for a campy team. But I don't think there's going to be a guy in this game where you look up like, damn, he shot 19 threes.
Yeah,
Like,
which
I
they
don't,
usually have, to your point.
which makes them less threatening than normal. It's a
Hmm.
very threatening brand of underdog basketball when they have like one guy that's going to shoot 19 threes.
Right.
Um, Card against Michigan, they had 5 offensive rebounds. They had 22 rebounds total. Michigan out rebounded them 40-22. They pulled down 5 of their 39 missed shots. What rebounding number in this game would concern you?
Ooh, I don't want to set myself up for some madness and some badness here, but
They don't have a guy bigger than 6'8".
I think they should out rebound them by double digits.
If they don't, I think this is a massive red flag confirmed instead of
Hmm.
just speculation.
I think that's fair.
They're 6'8". They have nobody bigger than 6'8".
Right.
You saw we have a data point. What did they do against one of the elite Big Ten front courts? They got 5 offensive rebounds.
Hmm.
That is 25% of what Evansville just got against Purdue.
Right.
I'm watching this for real. I am watching this, and I don't care. I don't want the excuse of, oh, they missed a bunch of threes and they weird bounces. Car, guess what? There's going to be weird bounces in this game. Oakland's going to shoot a bunch of threes. Rebound. And if Purdue does not rebound at a better rate against this team, I think it's officially pretty concerning.
I agree. And I think they will for what it's worth.
You do. With or without TKR?
With or without TKR, I still think.
Do you expect TKR to play?
I think yes, because to your point, I think you want to get him on the floor before that Bama game.
Yeah. I
So
would like it if he's 80%, I think you at least get him 20 minutes in this
yeah,
game.
get minutes restriction, but get him out there.
Yes. Okay. More further questions from me. Logistical questions. Does Antoine West check in?
I'm gonna say no.
I think also no. Who leads Purdue in scoring?
You know what? This feels like a
Could be another Fletcher game.
it could be another Fletcher game, especially if they play zone.
They will. And it's a terrible zone, by the way. It's
It
one of the worst zones I've ever seen.
this feels like we had a 20-minute performance from CJ Cox where he didn't get a shot up and he hits eight threes in this game.
I could see that. I could
I'll
see
go
that.
CJ Cox.
I could see this being a big game for any of Purdue's shooters, whether that's Braden, Fletcher, Cox, Harris, Benter, Murphy, literally any of them, Meyer. I think there's going to be a million wide open threes in this game. I also could see if TKR is back healthy. This is a reminder how important I am to Purdue game. And
Hmm.
TKR has like 34, and it's like, oh, we're back at full strength. Could
Yeah.
100% see that.
Yeah, like TKR at the middle of the zone, like he just has free range to push shot a team to death.
Yeah. Well, it turns out TKR would be the Horizon League player of the decade, not just the Horizon League player of the year. Lastly,
Please respect
which
Keto Benson on this podcast, Detroit Country Day alum.
yeah, TKR would destroy him. I have one more thing for you, and it's a new reoccurring segment that I'd like to introduce. Which Purdue role player will they tell us about? Which Purdue role player will be the guy that pops off and has the amazing game, and we get victory lap for doubting in this game?
Mm, I can see back-to-back good Benter games.
Feels like a good scout for another banter performance.
For sure. Like I think you saw like the athleticism that was being able to use by your team. Benter being one of Purdue's best athletes, I think would do him well.
Okay, I'm going to call my shot here. I think it's a CJ Cox game. I think Cox and Purdue are going to kind of watch the film and go back to the drawing board and have some why didn't I get a shot conversations. And then when you watch Oakland, I watched this the whole game against Michigan. They leave the corner wide open. It is literally like one pass, two pass, wide open corner shooter. I would assume they get Fletcher there. I'd assume they get Benter there. But when I watch Purdue basketball, a lot of the times it is CJ in the corner with this
Hmm.
starting lineup. It just, he ends up being that guy. I think CJ Cox might attempt 10 corner threes in this game that are all wide open and hit eight of them. And yeah, we do the whole dance again.
I could see it.
I think it happens. Okay, let's get to predictions. Ken Palm says Purdue 91, Oakland 64, only a 27-point spread. What do you got?
I'll go Purdue 95, Oakland 67.
It feels pretty good to me. I think it's bigger though. I think Oakland will struggle to score still in this game.
Well, and they're playing in Mackey too. That's good.
Give me 95-58. Big Purdue blowout.
Big win.
Yeah.